Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at WOJAK. Just go ahead and cover this here for one of my community members. I believe, what was it? Let's double check here. I think it was Kush. Yeah, thank you, Kush, for requesting that I cover this. Of course, just keep in mind, if you're part of my community, we do have a request section where you can request me making videos for you and effectively providing this for you at every step of the way. So again, appreciate the request. We'll go ahead and cover this here. And as you can tell, it's been a little while since we last covered this. So we'll go ahead and clean up the chart a little bit here and kind of extend out some key level supports and resistances and kind of see what's going on here. Just before we do though, I do want to ask a quick favor. Help us grow our Discord community as well as our Twitter community. Got a really cool following over there, and it's really nice to be able to interact with my members day in and day out. We have a lot of fun, definitely a good time. So I appreciate the request, or well, not just a request for obviously videos, because that's really what this whole point of this this channel is, but also to ensure that we stay in connection and essentially help each other out, right? So I love to help out whatever way possible. Speaking of helping out too, we took some nice profits here recently from Bitcoin yesterday, good 17% in 2 days. A trade that we took, Ethereum Classic, good 12% in 1 day. These are just 5x little leverage trades. Same thing with my Premium Plus too. We do between 5 and 10x here. We did what, 18% from Blur in 5 hours, and a little scalp short from Litecoin this morning, about 9%. So again, small wins here and there. Try not to go too crazy right now. I know there's a lot of folks out there that are just going hard as can be. They're going ham, as you might say, and just be careful with that. Anything over 20x leverage is extremely risky, and they're not sharing with you their bad trades. They're sharing with you the only good trades they take. So please, please, please recognize there's a lot of falsehood out there, and unfortunately, that's just kind of the way that it goes. You've got to kind of see through it. But regardless of that fact, let's go ahead and see what's going on with WOJAK here, see if we can find us any wins here so far. So we do have this descending trend, just to kind of note here. We have this descending trend that is still currently holding. Okay, so we don't want to just by any stretch go hard and go long, for example, because we don't know exactly if that's the case. We do want to see here that we are near that lower support level, and we can kind of extend this out. In fact, let me pull this out a little bit better, and just so you can kind of see what that looks like, because that's a previous support level based on not only this low range, but the initial low range as well. Speaking of which, let's take a quick look at the weekly. I think it's important to recognize this, that last week was the first week ever to close below that level here, roughly at about, I'm going to round up and say 9,600. So 9,600 is that level that we closed below. So we can expect 9,600 to be a new key level resistance. Okay, so keep in mind, you're going to have a profit target in place. Let's go ahead and put our indications here right about 9,600 and kind of just make sure we pay attention to that, because that is a level that we need to understand is going to be a strong resistance based on weekly closes, right? So we kind of take a look here. We can see previous weeks and months have all closed pretty much above that level, okay? So anyways, that's just kind of something to recognize. It's kind of one of those obvious indications letting us know that we're below that resistance and that further downside is possible, okay? Never trick yourself. Just think that, oh, this is the bottom from before. It's never gone lower than this, that this is going to be the floor. It just means that we're testing that key level support. And if that does break, this will become a new resistance and it'll be a thing of the past, right? It's difficult to kind of turn things around once you get to that level. Just know we're on the edge of potential disaster, so I do recommend low leverage, low position sizing if you're going to be trading this coin. That said, on the daily, let's look at some awesome indications here, kind of see what's going on. We're back up over 30 on the RSI. We've been so for 2 days now. We can see money flow indexes averaging higher now too as well, which is good. First time in a long time we've seen that actually pointing upwards. And of course, we can see stochastic kind of telling us that we have a somewhat of a convergence there, potential for further upside. But you do need to recognize that this chart looks very similar to the Bitcoin chart. So you don't want to kind of, we need to know Bitcoin's on the right track before you take a trade with a coin like this, in my personal opinion. So again, in general right now, with the way Bitcoin is, it's still kind of range bound and stuck on stupid. And I think other coins are going to be like that. Keep in mind though, Bitcoin dominance is coming down, and we have the situation here where we could be in a better position. Actually, let me rephrase that, because I think that if we look at, see, I have this pinned up here, kind of give you perspective. Bitcoin dominance is coming down, and the price of Bitcoin is basically down or stable. Okay? What that tells us is that the likelihood of altcoins going up and stabilizing is higher right now. Okay, because again, we've had this massive downtrend from the altcoins, right? Altcoins dumped really hard when Bitcoin dominance was up and the Bitcoin price went down. Okay, so we saw this massive dump from altcoins. Now that we're in this position right now where altcoins have kind of stabilized and or potentially increasing, we can anticipate that being on the horizon. So all we need is Bitcoin to go sideways for the next week or two without this crazy retest of the low 25,000 range, and we'll be fine. Again, a lot of preface. I do this almost every single altcoin video. It's just the way it works right now. We are, tied and tethered to Bitcoin right now. So just keep that in mind. But altcoins, I do feel, will start to surge here soon because of the altcoin or Bitcoin dominance coming down and Bitcoin price stabilizing. All right, hoping that's the case now. Either way, take a look here at the big picture. Daily is looking average. I wouldn't say there's anything phenomenal here at all. We're still below all moving averages, and the descending trend is still, I wouldn't say not our friend, but it's still telling us it could come down further. So we want to expect the worst and hope for the best. So my personal opinion right now, I would say don't touch this coin because there's no reason to really expect it to bounce. It's not doing anything contrary to Bitcoin. It's pretty much behaving very similarly. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Not the greatest trading conditions here for a coin like this. 4-hour time frame, transitionary time frame, telling us if we could see that shift in momentum to a bullish daily candle. And right now we can see that we're above 50 on the RSI. While that's all fantastic, well and good, stochastic is telling us we might have to shift downwards here soon too, because we uptrended without breaking through this level here. Okay, so again, we see this resistance level. We can see that we're making higher lows tentatively, but most coins are doing the same thing. Bitcoin's making higher lows. We look at the same. So try not to read into that as well. We've been converging on the MACD for a few days since last Friday. So in truth, the shift in momentum is due for a correction. I would speculate we might see another downtrend before we see an uptrend here from this coin. Take a look at the hourly. We are, I wouldn't say overextended, but we had an overextension going into this. We hit a 9 previously, followed by a 7 and then an 8. So in truth, it's having difficulty going much further here. We're seeing this resistance plateau at about 8,000 even. So 8,000 appears to be the new resistance level. Let's go ahead and draw some fibs just in the most recent time frame, kind of see what that looks like and tells us. And if we kind of look in a little closer here, once again, we can see that range about 8,000 or 8,100, and that we kind of get this little middle range about 7,900. So in truth, we're making higher lows, yes, in the larger time frames, but it's a very, very small consolation that I wouldn't read into or think that we're on the right track now. So again, I hate to be like morose or just kind of like negative or pessimistic, but most coins are like this right now, unless you are taking a look at what is it? Unify, I think, is doing well. SUI is finally pulling back. Blue Zell's plateauing. So a lot of the coins that were doing very well and trending upwards, they're going to start coming back down soon because those are profits need to be taken, because a lot of altcoins are hitting their bottom. These ones haven't hit their bottom yet. So just be mindful if you're trading coins like these other ones here that are doing fairly well contrary to Bitcoin, their day is coming here soon, even if Bitcoin price goes up. Okay. Again, that being said, you could argue that WOJAK is due for a correction to the upside. That's absolutely correct. So again, the bottom line here is that if you use low leverage, low position size, you can survive these ebbs and flows that we're seeing. So I'd recommend considering a long position if we can continue to close above this level for the next 24 to 48 hours. I would say if the week closes here, just say this time tomorrow we get a close at 8,000 or higher, then that might be a case in point where you might want to consider a long position from WOJAK. But we can't close over 8,000, and we continue to downtrend here, making higher lows but lower lows as well, or sorry, lower highs. Then I don't think it's worthwhile. Okay? Again, just because we're at the bottom doesn't mean it can't go lower, right? So once more, all the more reason to be careful. If you're going to add to your bags, I wouldn't go too heavy. It does seem like a very juicy target considering how low we are. We're at like an all-time low. We're testing that all-time low, but it's not really a good place, in my opinion, because we could see a sweep even lower at that point, and that would be a situation where you'd be kind of sad that you got in too hard. I would say if the price does drop to the 66,000 range, it may be advantageous to consider buying there. That'd be a better opportunity. Now again, a lot of different strategies for different situations, but we haven't officially broken free from this downtrend, and that's step number 1. Step 2 would be getting closure above some of these moving averages, which we aren't going to see for a little while. So once more, I'm more of a confirmational trader. I like to trade with confirmation. I don't like trading breakouts, and for the most part, I don't love trading ranges either. So if you're going to buy anything, buy it at the low end of the range, right? That's the whole point. But either way, anyways, that's kind of where we're at here. All things said and done, hopefully this made sense and I described this correctly. Sorry if it was circular in a way. I just try to fill you with some good information, help you understand. where things are at, because I know a lot of people are thinking that this is going to take off. It very well could, but it doesn't give us any signs right now that it's going to. The only thing we have going for us is Bitcoin dominance being low and the price of Bitcoin averaging itself out. If we continue to see the price of Bitcoin stay at the 26.1 range for the next week, a lot of alts like this will surge. Okay, just know there's this knee-jerk reaction. As soon as Bitcoin retests that 26,000 range, altcoins, all profits from altcoins goes to zero. Okay, so you got to make sure you move your stop loss higher as you get into profit, and ensure you're securing profits, because there's a lot of money to be left on the table here if you're not careful. All right, thanks again. Do me a favor, help join our Discord community here so you can be knowledgeable and abreast of all the things that we talk about on a daily basis, and help us grow our Twitter as well. Greatly appreciate that. Thanks again so much for joining me here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next video. Take good care of yourself.